And that all changed one night. I talk about this on my lives and on the podcast, obviously, quite a bit. I was sat up in my golf club. I went for a round of, I don't know, that's not true. I didn't even went for a round of golf. We went up there. We used to go play pool and darts up there on a Friday night and then sit down and have a couple of pints. And we're sat having a couple of pints, and I went to get out of the toilet. And I can't explain the feeling. I'm sure that when we talk about anxiety, really bad anxiety, we can relate to it. It's kind of that electrical shock that ran vertically straight through my body. And I just froze. I couldn't move, and I'd never had that feeling in my life. And my heart rate was just you know when you feel it in your throat, It was just going mental. And I kind of steadied myself, and I felt a little bit faint, felt a little bit nauseous. Took a breath, went to move again, couldn't move. And it's odd because as panicked as you are, you don't want anybody else to see this. It's weird. It's not like you're in danger. Like when you know you're in danger, like panic attack danger. It's a different danger. But this is kind of just like, well, what the hell's going on? And then eventually I took a deep breath, steadied myself, and I got up and I walked out to the toilet like nothing had happened. Admittedly, during that walk, it felt like I was in it was attached to a yo-yo, a lot of nausea, a lot of like dizziness. And I never felt that before, and I just put it down to maybe a bit of bad food, or certainly never ever thought it was anything to do with mental health. And then that feeling kept on appearing. And it started appearing at work. It started appearing at the dinner table. It started to appear when I was trying to get to sleep. Random frights of just intense fear that I couldn't explain. And this went on for months, and it just got worse. I honestly thought it was vertigo. I think I went to the doctors and I said I was on it, and I'm sure they even asked me, "Do you suffer from anxiety?" And I thought, no, I don't think so. How ironic, if we look back in hindsight. And then, and that just developed over the years that were coming into much more, what's the word that we call it? Just a much more damaging anxiety, really bad social anxiety. For somebody that could go out and drink a load of Cokes and then go into beers, was then having to have beers before I even went out, because going out sober was not happening. The intense nerves of walking into a pub that I had no problem with, all of a sudden, I was really, really, really nervous, and I couldn't understand what was going on. And this feeling was really, really, really alien to me, and it was really hard for me to accept. And, I actually went out to Thailand, and as much as I loved that holiday, again, it was plagued by anxiety, this horrible feeling of social anxiety. My neck would shudder, and I just hated being out, with too many people. I just felt the attention was on me when, it wasn't like I was nervous about how I looked. I just thought people were watching me, or, they're interested by my actions, or my biggest fear was passing out from it. And I don't know why. I don't know why that was. I think it goes back to aspects of losing control.
Yeah. What was the